or did we skip ahead? Or did
That's
we
what
skip
we're doing
ahead?
today.
Is the 6 touches?
Yeah, we can do that one.
Okay. Okay. I just, I know I messed up the order for 2 or 3 teams because of requests to do so, and I just want to make sure this is the right one. So this is the week where we talk about how on earth do we get paid? Well, not we get paid. How do they get paid? Would that be okay if we created a system so that you were making consultants on purpose?
Sure.
Now, there are 2 factors that really create more revenue for your business. One is the average lifespan of your product users. And we want to be constantly extending what is their lifespan as far as ordering the products. Now, as we shared with you on our second call, the size of the pack that they start with really determines what's the length of their product use. But there are more things that also influence the length of their product use. And we're going to learn some of them today. And of course, the other part is wanting to be able to get people's products paid for so that they stay on forever. Because we know if people cycle just 1 or 2 times a week, they stay on the product forever because their product basically is free. So it's those 2 factors that we're wanting to look at and put effort in with today's training. Now, the principles we're going to have a bunch of resources for them, okay? On our website, evolvedeconomy.com, there is a form we'd like you to refer to. So if you go to evolvedeconomy.com and just scroll down that first page, you'll see a picture of a toolbox. And beside the toolbox, you will see a hyperlink for a form called PK's 6 touches in the first 30 days. Now, have any of you seen this form before?
Yeah, I think I printed it actually alongside the big thing. Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Also on that page is a link to a YouTube video, which is a 1-hour training of me explaining how to do the 6 touches. So if you want to teach this to someone else in your team, you don't have to teach it personally. You can have them print off the form, first go over the video, let them watch the video, and then you can review whatever further instruction they need.
Nice.
Now the other reason, sorry?
I said that sounds great.
We're trying to make it as paint by number as we can because this is where people get lost. It's after the enrollment, what the heck do I do?
Right.
So we're trying to make this very, very paint by number for everybody. The other thing is there are 6 touches to go through in the first 30 days. 5 of them are actual conversations. The first one is an action. So we've made a YouTube video for each of the 5 conversations. So if you go to our YouTube channel, PK Smith on YouTube, you'll see touch number 2, the generous referral bonus. Touch number 3, the day 5 miracle phone call. Touch number 4, the day 14 compliment call. Touch number 5, the day 20 coaching call. And touch number 6, the day 30 inventory review call. So you don't need to write down scripts in order to keep track of this. When it comes time to make one of those conversations take place, you can just go onto our YouTube channel or place all of those videos on a business building page you might have for business builders on Facebook, so they can just go there to resource them. But there's no need to memorize anything like that. There's a video attached to every conversation we're going to suggest that you do. Does that make sense so far?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So let's start off with touch number 1. And as we said, it was an action, not a conversation. And the action is simply that during the enrolling process, we want to make sure that we share both an opportunity video as well as a product video. Now, do you guys have any favorite opportunity videos that you like to share with people while they're in the enrolling process?
Done that.
No?
I share a product video like when I introduce them to our like. So
When you introduce them to your what?
our Facebook page.
Your Facebook page, okay. Do you ever share any opportunity videos before they enroll?
Sometimes, so I do the Y isogenics one.
Well, that does both there. Absolutely. Yeah. That's why Isogenics does both opportunity and product. There's a new one that was revealed on Monday. Did you all see that new one?
No.
It's from the Canadian market, but I'm not bragging about it because it's Canadian. It's the warmest opportunity video they've ever made. You know how sometimes they can be a little too flashy and kind of cold?
Yeah.
This is the warmest video you've ever seen. I wish they didn't put Canada beside it because it means some people in the States won't use it. There's nothing Canadian about it. We don't talk about Canadian products, and no one has a terrible accent. But give it a watch this week. It's a very warm opportunity video to share with people. Very, very warm.
What's
We
it
also
called?
like, it's called the Isogenics Difference Canada. So we've got the regular Isogenics Difference video that I love, and now we've got an Isogenics Difference Canada video that I also love. So check those out.
Okay.
And if you're talking to a younger person in the start age, of course, our favorite is that Start Your Life Now, startyourlife.com video, that kind of a montage video they offer when you open up startyourlife.com. You all familiar with that one?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, these are not instructional videos. These are just inspirational videos, and that's all we share is inspirational videos about the opportunity at this point. We're not trying to turn anyone into a network marketer yet. We're not going to promise them they're going to be a millionaire by Thursday. All we're talking about at this point is there is an opportunity. Here are some folks that have embraced it. So that's touch number one, making sure that it isn't a sometimes I do, it's an every time I do. I never hide one half of Isogenics. Remember, Isogenics has that two-pronged vision to eliminate both physical and financial pain. You partner with Isogenics, please don't make that think that you should edit their vision based on how you feel. Share both prongs of their vision with everyone. What they do with it is completely up to them. None of these are, judo chops to the throat. They're just touches. They're just influencing how people think what they might do next in light of knowing about Isogenics. So are we okay with that first touch?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. Now, touch number two exposes that we aren't going to be talking business. We're only going to be talking about getting some of your investment back. So when people make an investment in their health and they've signed up, after they've signed up, the same day that they've signed up, we would share touch number two with them. Now, we compare them becoming a consultant and sharing a positive review with a couple of friends to leaving a positive review from any other kind of online purchase they might make. So it sounds like this. Again, it's on a video. You don't need to write it down. It sounds like this. So you've just got started with a President's Pack. Well, Isogenics has a very generous referral bonus system. We know in companies, say like Amazon, that the number one contributing factor for why a customer picks a particular product is a positive review from a fellow customer. Well, Isogenics, unlike Amazon, will actually reimburse you for a positive referral. So let's say two of your friends decide to join here in the first week with President's Packs like you. Well, you would get $420 in referral bonus money for that positive review. And if three of your friends were to join the first week, you'd get back $634 in referral bonus money. Now, you may wonder where that money comes from. Well, there is no ad on TV advertising Isogenics. We don't put our products on the shelf at Walmart, and there's no stadium in the world that says Isogenics on the side of it. Instead, we invest in folks like you who give us positive reviews. Now, do you see the value of comparing something as simple as them going consultant to a positive review on any other kind of online purchase?
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because it's something they already do, right?
Yes.
trying to take the weird out of it. Now, notice the numbers, 420 and 634. If 2 people join with President's Packs the first week, you would receive 160 plus 160 in double PIVs for 320, plus $50 for going consultant. And because they did it in the first week, remember we wanted to offer that crystal consultant bonus. That's where the 420 comes from. Now, we also mentioned that if 3 people join the first week, it's 160 plus 160 plus another 160 for $480 in double PIVs, plus $50 for going consultant, $50 for going crystal consultant, and because of the size of the packs, they would cycle their first week for $54. So if they were to get back $634 the first 7 days, how much are they going to end up paying for their President's Pack?
You said they're getting 600?
$634, yeah.
They're making money on their President's Pack.
Ooh, look, it's free.
Yeah, more than free, because it's $550.
More than free. Yeah.
Free.
Have you ever told anybody that if they sign up 3 people, it's free?
I have not.
Maybe we should start. What do you think?
Right.
If you offer the Crystal Consultant bonus and they sign up 3 people the first week, the Pace Setter Pack, the President's Pack, and the Business Builders Packs, they're all free. You don't pay a cent.
Absolutely.
That'd be some interesting information to share, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Now, truthfully, yes, we want to tell them that it's free, but we want to tell them for another reason as well. The same reason we started the Business Builders Pack and go down. Because most people pick the compromise. So if you tell them to get 2, they're probably only going to get 1.
They all do that.
So
you're
we don't tell them to get 2, we tell them to get 3.
Well, before I did your training, I would tell people to get 2, and they would always get 1. Always.
Yep.
That's kind of frustrating.
But you're thinking it can't be that simple. Come on, there's got to be more to it than that. There actually isn't.
I agree.
It's how humans make decisions. And we're just matching how they make decisions, that's all. Not complicated. Now, all you have to know is, what are the 3 sets of numbers you need to know for the 3 packs? So we gave you the numbers for the President's Packs, 420 and 634. If someone were to join with a Pace Setter Pack and 2 of their friends were to join them the first week, they would get back $300. And if 3 of their friends were to join the first week, they'd get $400. So their Pace Setter Pack would be free because it's $399. That part makes sense?
Right.
And then with the 30-day, if 2 people were to join the first week, you'd get $200 back. And if 3 people were to join the first week, you'd get $250 back. It's almost free, but no cigar. We want you to share these specific numbers based on what size pack they started with every time you enroll someone. Now, one of the reasons we share specific numbers is that the vague concept, can I show you how to get your products paid for, is way too vague for them to understand how generous these bonuses are. So we have to specifically give them numbers. We've asked people after the fact, what did you think that meant? We can show you how to get your products paid for. And they had crazy answers. One of the craziest ones was, well, I thought maybe if I stayed on the product for a year, you might give me $50 a month so that my last one was free. But I had no idea I could get it free the first week. That's just crazy talk. Well, it is crazy talk until you explain it to them. And that's why we give them those numbers specifically. Does our logic make sense there?
Yeah. Do you have these numbers written somewhere that we can print?
I just gave them to you. Do you not write them down? No?
Well, I can rewatch. It's okay.
No. I can give them to you again so you can write them down.
Well, okay.
So for the President's Pack, if 2 people join the first week, it's $420, and if 3 people join, it's $634. For the Pace Setter Pack, if 2 people join, it's $300, and if 3 people join, it's $400.
Okay.
And for the 30-day, if 2 people join, it's $200, and if 3 people join, it's $250.
Okay.
On the video, they only refer to the President's Pack numbers, because whenever we're doing a video, we always base it on the person joining with the President's Pack.
Oh, right.
Now, we know that almost everybody, 95% of the people, their answer to that offer is going to be this statement, which you've heard a million times. I don't want to share this with anyone else until I know it works for me. Right?
Yep.
Have you heard that before?
Yeah. Yesterday.
If you've never heard it, then you've never enrolled anyone. Now, we plan on them saying that because that's what leads us to touch number 3. We plan on that being their response. Why? This isn't our first rodeo. Now, half of the language that you're going to say is on that touch number 3, day 5 miracle phone call, but half of it you're going to say right now when they give you that response. We would say back, I agree. I mean, if you don't know that it works, I wouldn't want you to share with anyone else. But here's the great news. I happen to know you're going to have measurable results by the 5th day of your nutritional experience. In fact, I'd like to talk to you on the 5th day just so I can hear the list of all the things that have changed in 5 short days. So after they've been taking the product for 5 days, what are some of the results they could be experiencing by then?
They can have weight loss, more energy.
Yep.
Sleeping better.
PK, is that not like a compli? I mean, obviously you know it's a compliance statement, but I'm a little confused by that. I mean,
to tell them they're going to have results.
How did you say it?
I happen to know you're going to have a list of changes by the 5th day of your product experience. I didn't tell them what the changes were going to be. I didn't promise any amount of anything. I just said things would change by the 5th day.
Okay.
Right, you don't promise anything. You just say changes.
Yeah, I didn't promise anything. I just said you're going to notice a list of results. And some of them are non-measurable. I have more energy. I'm sleeping more. My head feels less cloudy. And some people will say, I've lost 6 pounds or I've lost 5 inches. But I didn't tell them they were going to do any of those things. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't paint ourselves into that corner with that statement. But that being said, if you don't tell them that there's going to be more than one result by the 5th day, they won't notice more than one result because most people only join for one reason, maybe 2, but mostly 1. So if you don't tell them, kind of pay attention to what's going on here, you're going to have a list of results by the 5th day. And that actually helps them appreciate their product experience better because you told them there was going to be more than one great positive result from this nutritional program. Can you see the value there?
Yeah.
Now let's just pause right here. We're about to ask them to take action, but between the day they enrolled, which was the second touch when we shared the generous referral bonus language with them, and this day, day 5 of their product experience, there was 3 to 5 days of shipping and waffling, and then 5 days of product experience. So now it has been anywhere from 8 to 10 days since you mentioned that language about the generous referral bonus. In that period of time, you must get your associate on what we call a peer-to-peer-to-peer three-way call. Now, this is different from a normal three-way call in that we're not trying to bring an expert on to answer all their questions. We're bringing on someone who has anything in common with them to share their 30-second story of how well the product worked for them. Now, these aren't scheduled three-way calls. We would literally just call up Julie on a whim, as long as you've got the other person available on the other line, and just call up Julie and say, hey, Julie, it's PK. We just wanted to congratulate you on your choice to make such a great investment in your health. I've got my friend Karen on the other line. She happens to be a teacher in your school district, and she had an amazing response in her first 30 days. Would it be okay if Karen came on and just shared her 30-second story? Now, because Karen is also a teacher, Julie says sure, and you said it would only take 30 seconds. This isn't a long call. Julie says sure, and Karen comes on. They nerd out about being teachers for a minute or two. Karen shares her 30-second story. You jump back in and say, hey, we were just phoning to congratulate you. Way to go. We'll talk to you soon, and you hang up. Now, the reason for this is any kind of fear or skepticism that they're having needs a relationship to allay those fears. And so introducing them to someone who has anything in common with them allays some of their fears because it's someone like them. The mistake we make is we tend to throw more information at skepticism, and that isn't as effective as a relationship is. So emotional support at this point is more important than downloading a lot of data to them. Plus, in a moment after they gave you their list of things that happened, you're going to suggest, why don't we talk to 3 or 4 of your friends? If I haven't taken the time to introduce my new associate to any of my friends, she will be quite unwilling to introduce me to any of hers. But this peer-to-peer-to-peer three-way call helps warm up that situation. And it increases the chances that this person will actually introduce you to some of her friends. Now, have any of you ever done a peer-to-peer-to-peer three-way welcome call like this before?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
The three-way call before day 5 is essential. It just can't be skipped. It just can't be skipped. And three-way calls, period, can't be skipped. I know we find them cumbersome, but they can't be skipped because they really boost your percentage of people who go consultant, especially if you use that method to introduce them to someone who has anything in common with them. Now, we don't schedule them because even if we call and we get voicemail, we still do the call. I still introduce Karen. Karen still shares her story. I still say congratulations. Doesn't that simplify it?
Yes.
Now, what we found is if you'll do all 3 of these touches, the opportunity video while you're enrolling them, the specific explanation as to what kind of money they get back if they shared, and now this call specifically on day 5, you can see 10% of your associates willing to start sharing by the 5th day. Now, the reason is, on day 5, your associate can still remember how poorly they felt on day 1. And so when they recognize the list of results, the compare and contrast between how they felt on day 1 and how they feel now on day 5 is really clear. And that causes a sense of excitement that overcomes their reluctance in sharing with their friends. But if you wait to have this conversation till the next week, they may have a longer list of results, but they will have begun to forget day 1. And so the compare and contrast becomes quite fuzzy. In fact, sometimes even by the 2nd week, people are beginning to suffer from isogenics amnesia. They're forgetting that isogenics is why they feel so good. So that's why the day 5 call is on day 5. Does that one make sense?
Yes.
Now, as you can see, half of the 6 touches are all done in the first third of the month. And that's on purpose, because our total strategy is this: have our associates sharing in the first part of the month so that when they go consultant in that first month, we can then, with them, repeat the 6 touches with their 2 new associates so that we can take our personally enrolled now consultant all the way to Crystal Manager. Please don't let go of your associates so soon just because they became consultants. Repeat the touches the next level down with them. Don't send them on their own yet. They're not ready. So that you're actually making Crystal Managers on purpose. But it's just by simply repeating what you've already learned to do once. Does that overall strategy make sense to you, why we're doing it this way?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And do you see how maybe this is more strategically, deliberately making managers than maybe previously what you've done?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
But again, it's just the same touches, the same form over again. That's it. That's all. Now, when we go to the last part of the month, we have to make a strategy shift. And that is because touch number 4 is on day 14 of their product experience. And on day 14, it has been anywhere from 17 to 20 days since they put that initial order on their card. And they've had a paycheck or two since then. And that paycheck or two has reduced the motivation of getting isogenics to pay for it. So, touch 4, 5, and 6, days 14, 20, and 30, now we only refer to the auto ship order and getting their second month for free. If you keep talking about the initial order too long, you won't be understanding why it's falling on deaf ears. It's because they've already started paying for that pack you're trying to get paid for. You have to shift to only talking about auto ship from this point forward. That may have been a strategy you've missed in the past. I hope you don't continue to, because it radically changes how they respond to your offer. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
So we skip forward to day 14, and on day 14, it's my favorite call. It's the day 14 compliment call. And this helps them both with the idea of getting their products paid for, as well as accepting how they're shifting and improving, and allows them to transform their own body self-image. So on day 14, we would contact our associate and say, hey, you look great, you must feel great, and people must be noticing. Can you think of a great compliment you've received since you've really started to transform with your product experience? Now, the reason we ask this is many people, especially people with negative body self-images, they will think that everyone's going to announce, wow, it looks like you lost weight, when in fact almost no one is going to dare to say that to someone. Why are people afraid of making that announcement to people?
Because they don't want to refer that they were overweight in the first place.
Exactly. It feels like an insult, not a compliment. Even though they'd love to hear it, the person is afraid to say it. But there are code compliments that mean that I noticed, I'm just not going to mention the weight. What's a code compliment for I noticed?
You just say maybe something's changed about them.
Yeah, something's different about you. What is it? Yeah. A man always says the same thing. What's a man say? You changed your hair. That's right. We've been trained. You can't get in trouble for that one.
One of my consultants, though, she's lost like 30 pounds, and she had a guy say to her, "Hey, you lost weight." And I said, "Usually they don't say that."
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's a really big deal.
Yeah, it's very noticeable. Absolutely.
He may be single, though, and doesn't know any better.
Could be.
Could be. Well, actually, one of my mentees, a male coworker, said to her on a coffee break, "Hey, are you pregnant?" And she said, "No, I'm not. But are you sure? Because sometimes you don't know."
Oh, no.
She said, "Dave, you can't ask a woman that twice. And why are you looking at me that way, asking if I'm pregnant?" He says, "I'm not looking anywhere but your face." "Oh, so my face looks pregnant." "No." He says, "My wife's had 3 babies, and she always had a beautiful glow when she was pregnant. And you've got that glow." And because he's a bit of a jackass, one more time, he said, "Are you sure you're not pregnant?"
Oh, no.
And she said, "Thank you for the compliment, Dave. And by the way, you suck at compliments." They might remark on, "Is that a new outfit? That looks different on you. Wow, you seem to have lots of energy these days." Or, "Wow, you're in a great mood. What's changed?" All things that are their way of saying, "I noticed, but I'm not going to mention weight." Now, as far as their self-image transformation goes, this is a very important dialogue to begin with them. Because if you have a negative body self-image, even after you go through a transformation, your mindset will lag behind what your body's accomplished. You'll still see things that aren't even there anymore.
Right.
And this is a part of them appreciating their transformation. I think of my little girl, Katie, who will be 25 next month. 7 years ago, she released a significant amount of weight with Isogenics. But for years afterwards, I would see her pulling her T-shirt out away from a tummy that wasn't there anymore. And I'd say, "What are you doing, Kate?" And she says, "Oh, Dad, I know, but I was heavy a long time, so it's still in my head that I am." She says, "But it's a year ago." She says, "I know, it'll get better someday, but it still isn't. I still see myself at that other size." Now, she isn't there today. 7 years later, she knows that she's fit. In fact, she's turned into a bit of a gym junkie. Are you right under a plane?
Yes, I'm on my. It's beautiful here, and I'm out. I have my laptop on my back deck, and I live right near the airport.
Wow! Yeah. It didn't hit your head at any point?
I didn't even notice it. I'm so used to it. So sorry about that.
Oh, no, I know. I live just a couple miles from the train tracks that take every bit of train traffic in all of Canada right through our village, and I don't hear it at all.
Yeah.
And the bells go off. Everything goes off 12, 13, 14 times a day. I haven't heard it in years. Your brain just shuts it off.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, as far as the business goes, when they understand that some people are noticing, that's when we would say, "Well, why don't we talk to 3 or 4 of your friends, maybe even some of your friends who are commenting. Maybe their compliment is their way of saying, how do I get what you got? Can you hook a sister up?" That way we could pay for your auto ship order before it's ever even processed in the next week to 10 days. And because of that, your second month of superfoods won't cost you a cent. It'll be completely free. Can you see why I like that day 14 compliment call?
Yes.
Now skip forward to day 20. And on day 20, this call is the coaching call. And it is because of the new promotion that was released at Celebration last year in San Diego. And there they taught us that if your personally enrolled associate has an auto ship order that is a 30-day, you would receive a $25 coaching bonus. If their auto ship is a pace setter pack, you would receive a $50 coaching bonus. If it's a president's pack, you would receive an $80 coaching bonus. It isn't a stationary $25 coaching bonus, it moves based on the size of the pack. Now, unfortunately, most people don't know that, and most people don't have a method to actually help someone choose a pack for their auto ship. This call gives you that method. So there's 3 steps to this call. Step number 1, we review their progress by day 20. Now, on our form at the very top, we had listed what was their ultimate health goal. So now when they've shared what they've done by day 20, we can do number 2, and that is help them establish a second month's health goal. Now, if your retention rates are low, the first question you should ask yourself is, do I stay in touch with my associates' health goals? Or after I enrolled them, do I become a ghost and they become a ghost? Very few people reach their goal in the first 30 days. So you need to keep extending their health goal month to month so they can see the value of staying committed to their own health. And then number 3, in light of their health goal, show them the value of a pack to reach that goal. So the conversation would sound like this. Let's call up Bob. Bob, it's just PK calling. Just want to check how you're doing by day 20. What's your progress look like, Bob? Well, PK, I'm a complete rock star. I've already released 12 pounds in 20 days. Well, yes, Bob, you are a rock star. We will create a statue in your honor immediately. Excellent job. Now, I see by my form here that you wanted to release a total of 35 pounds. Is that still correct? Yes, but I'm already down 12. Only got 23 more to go. Excellent. Well, let's aim for 15 pounds that second month. You'll probably cross the 15-pound mark in the first month. Let's aim for 15 the second month. Would that be an okay goal for you? Says, yeah, that'd be good enough for me. Okay. Now, I also see in my form here that you took my advice when I said, please invest in all 3 systems for your first 30 days. And you did. You bought the President's Pack. Now, what I'd like to know, in light of the success you got from that investment, would you like to keep your auto ship at that level? Yes or no? Now, don't automatically concede that they're going to want to go down a level. Just ask them if they want to stay at the pack they're at, yes or no. If it's a no, drop them down to the Pace Setter pack. If that's a no, drop them down to the 30-day. If that's a no, you got to bring them back to their health goal. Because at anything less than a 30-day, how on earth do you think you're going to lose 15 pounds the second month? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Now, that's probably more of a detailed strategy than you presently have when it comes to reviewing their auto ship at the end of the first month. But it does work to do it in that order. Their progress, their goals, then their auto ship conversation. Because otherwise, there's no logic behind why they should have an auto ship of any size, unless you go in that order. One last touch is on day 30. And on day 30, we want to do an inventory review call. Now, remember, day 30 is day 30 of their product experience. So they already have their auto ship by this day. So we would call up Bob again, and number 1, we'd ask him, what do you got left? Number 2, we'd remind him of his health goals, and if he's short on product, we'd recommend a mid-month order. So let's call Bob again. Bob, I'm just checking in. Tomorrow's your second month. How did you finish the first month? Well, I took off 17 pounds. Can you believe that? You are a rock star, Bob. I'm glad we're making your statue. Well, you took off 17 pounds. You wanted to take off a total of 35 pounds. Yeah, okay. Now, just to be clear here, I want to make sure you've got enough product. Do you have enough product for your second month? Oh, I got tons, PK. I don't need any more product. Oh, good. So if you could just give me a number. How many canisters of shakes do you have in your cupboard? Well, I got tons. I know, but how many is that? Well, I'm counting here. I got 2. Okay, Bob, have you opened your auto ship already? Yep. And you've only got 2 canisters. Yep. Is anybody else having shakes with you? Yeah, my wife is having some. Oh, okay. Well, good news. You're both getting really healthy. Good for you. You're going to love your results. Bad news, you're going to need to order more shakes in about a week at this present rate. I am? Yeah, you see, you had 4 canisters of shakes for your first month. And then we delivered another 4 a week ago. You've gone through 6 canisters of shakes. Oh, well, that's good. Yeah, I know. It's very good. So in about a week, you're going to need to order 4 more canisters just so you don't run out your first month. Would you be able to do that? No problem. We're eating it. We're saving money. We're happy. No problem. Okay. Well, in light of that mid-month order, why don't we talk to 3 or 4 of your friends and see if they wouldn't want to join you in your second month. That way we could go backwards and pay for that auto ship order, which you've already eaten half of, and go forward and pay for that mid-month order. That way your entire second month of superfoods would be completely free. What do you think? Have you ever done an inventory review call like that with an associate before their second month? This is a totally new idea.
I usually always remind everyone that they have an auto ship coming.
Mm-hmm.
And I always recommend that they reorder some sort of kit.
Okay.
I try to
Can
do
you
that.
see the value of getting a hard number from them, though? Because if Bob runs out on day 14, even if he orders immediately, he's got to go back to old habits for 3 to 5 days.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
We're trying to avoid that start, stop foolishness, which is how diets go. We're trying to get out of that completely. And that's why we bother to just do that review, just how many canisters you have before you start your second month. Because frankly, you're not going to be contacting them as much in the second month, so they could run out without you even knowing it happens. So this call kind of takes care of that problem. So what do you think of the 6 touches? Do you think this is something you could possibly build into how you do your business?
Yes, I think it'll take some work to get used to. I mean,
Yeah.
I talk to my people often, so I just need to be more strategic about when I talk to them.
And also, most of these conversations are specifically, why don't we talk to 3 or 4 of your friends too? So they're not all product-centric kind of coaching kind of stuff. It's let's get you to consultant. Now notice we never say let's talk to a couple of your friends. We always say 3 or 4 of your friends, right?
Okay.
Because of the compromise factor.
Okay.
So the idea is print off the form for every one of your associates, fill out the form for every one of your associates, and then just follow the form all based on what date they start their product experience so that you know when day 5, 14, 20, and 30 actually are in your calendar. So don't try to keep this in your phone or on a calendar on a whiteboard. Actually have a hard copy to follow each one of your associates, which you can put in a binder, and just have all of your associates in one place. At the beginning of the week, review your associates to see who do I need to touch base with.
Right.
Now, this is important because we have people fall through the crack because we're trying to remember this stuff. We don't want to have to remember any of this. We want to be able to just look at a piece of paper and know, oh, I haven't talked to Bob in a week. Holy smoke, okay. And get back in order.
Right.
That's probably the biggest challenge I've run into with leaders. They try to remember things that can't be remembered. And also, they're now using their brain as a warehouse instead of a factory. And it stops them from being ingenious because they're too busy trying to remember things. And that's why we create forms and scripts. Something simple so it doesn't have to all be floating in your memory. Because if you get busy, all of that memory stuff just goes out the window. And that's what we're trying to protect against. So can we try this week to start initiating some of these first touches with the people we enroll?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Do you have a recommendation for people that maybe you didn't do this with initially? Can I go back and do it now?
Well, I would go back and share the generous referral bonus language with anybody.
Okay.
Frankly. And I would always be doing the day 20 and day 30 call with my associates anyways. Ongoing.
For everybody.
Every month.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. The reason this is, and this is something that isn't spoken about because even the team that's doing it doesn't know that it's happening. But we have one team in Isogenics that is making more money for their business builders per associate than anyone in history. Like 400 to 800% higher rates. And it's because a high percentage of their associates become consultants, and a high percentage of their associates who aren't consultants still have very long product experiences. Very long.
Right.
And in this case, just the personally enrolled of this leader are making $1.5 million a year, but there's only 26,000 people in the downline. Now that sounds like a big number, but it isn't. When you compare it to other leaders within Isogenics, it's 1/4 or 1/8 of what other leaders have had to make the same amount of money. So they're getting more pay per enrollment just because of those two things we're influencing by using this list. Longer product use, higher percentage of consultants. That simple.
Okay.
Make sense?
Absolutely.
So we'll give it a try this week and start learning this skill. Would that be okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, it's been great training with you folks. I hope what we've given you has given you some real skills to practice, and you can see some real push forward for your business as you practice them.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
You're very, very welcome. Great seeing y'all.
Bye now.
Wow. I guess he was done.
Yeah.
He's like, peace out.
Yeah, exactly. Oh.